I am on a full 2-week journey of just filming whatever I feel like filming like. So today I'm sitting down and I'm gonna answer some questions that you had about Creator and Friends, the trip that I just went on. Is it actually a brand trip? Are people getting paid? Who's lying? Are we really friends? What's the tea? What's the drama? You asked me some questions. I'm gonna do my makeup and I'm actually gonna be using some of the things that we got on the trip that are first impressions to me. So I'm gonna do my makeup and I'm gonna answer this. And honestly, I'm kind of excited because I saw some somewhat juicy questions in here. I'm gonna start with digging into some Salt New York. I got these at the event and I'm very excited to try it. And the owner, Kiki, told us that if we have oily skin, going in with a dry sponge, which I actually will today. This is a cinch dry sponge. I'm just gonna do a little primer before because I do have combo oily skin. Oh, it is erupting, especially around my T-zone. So I'm gonna try it out. I did used to use a dry sponge a lot when I was younger. I do like a dewy sponge a lot though, but I'll try it out. I'll give it a try. I don't have like the oiliest skin either. I'm gonna like talk about one thing because I got a question. I thought we could talk about money first. This question is, how much did you guys on average spend to attend? Was it worth it? And like tying into that one, someone asked, who pays for it? I love the idea, but I can't understand it from a business perspective. And I think the reason why it's not like understandable from a business perspective is that it's not really a business and it didn't really start out as like a business perspective. I understand like everything sometimes become like a little murky, but this literally did just start as a trip with friends. I feel like it's just ending up in my sponge. I don't know if am I doing this correctly? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I will use a brush actually. So the reason why it's called Creator and Friends is because it is creators that are actually friends. And that's how it started out, as like just an endeavor with friends basically. And it's of course grown a little bit since then because somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and it just ends up being more people and just a little bit more like diverse kind of a group than maybe just like what it started out being, because like the first trip was just basically everybody. I knew basically everybody on that trip. Most of the people I had even met from before, so there were very few like surprise people. I put it out because I was afraid I was going to get foundation into some of the other products. But I feel with this trip there are actually some people who came that I had never met before, and the thing is that you pay for your own travel to get there. And also when you are invited to this, and anyone can be invited, basically it is, if you are a creator, you can reach out, and I will leave a link to that down below. You can reach out to Creator and Friends. It is made and started by Simbri Thinks, and Samantha March. And you can reach out to them and they will put you on a list of creators. And then when they invite for trips, they just try and invite like people that, I don't know, they think would get along. That's what I'm actually guessing, because it is first and foremost a creator trip. And also the creators are coming, they don't have to, like, if I don't want to do a vlog, if I don't want to do stories, if I don't want to show the products, the goodie bag, if I don't even want to receive the goodie bag, like I can opt out, because at the end of the day, this is a friend's trip. And if I don't want to be a part of that, there are people who went to this trip that didn't vlog, didn't really post any stories. They're not gonna do any dedicated videos because it doesn't fit into their content, the kind of things that they do, and that is perfectly fine. They are within their rights to not mention it or not talk about it, or like just leave it as is basically. I know that some like actual brand trips, because again this is a friends trip, I know that some brands trips are more like, if you go you have to post this many stories or this many reels. We don't have anything like that. And when you like sign up, when you are invited, the invite will say you pay for your own airfare, and when we start the trip there are no sponsors, there's nothing, and basically it says do not accept unless you are willing and able and prepared to pay for everything yourself. Because that's how it starts out. Like the first trip that we did, we had already sent money for the Airbnb to Samantha. Like everybody that was going to the trip when we went to Charleston, we had already sent money to Samantha. And then we did get someone that was like, hey, want to be part of the trip? And like no strings attached, but we will pay for the Airbnb, which is also what happened this time. And we got our money back. But you also have to pay a deposit to go for the trip for stuff like snacks, transporting all the things to New Orleans and coming back. There are so many like loose threads of like, you know, cleaning the Airbnb effort. There are so many things that like go into creating an event like this. I'm guessing that just transport fees for like the goodie bags must have been humongous, and all of those things are covered with that like little cover fee that we do. And then basically they will let us know if the Airbnb, if we need to pay for it, then we'll just have to like send them money, which everyone is like of course willing to do when you accept going on this trip. So we don't know going into the trip how much it's gonna cost, but the one paying for the trip initially is us. And then sometimes sponsors will come in and they will be like, we will pay for a dinner or we will pay for the Airbnb. And all of this is with no strings attached. Like some brands will pay for a brunch and then they'll like maybe have a viewing of their product. Like Earthly Cosmetics had a dinner that they paid for that we got to go to. If I don't want to go to the dinner, we don't have to. We don't have to go to any of these workshops. We don't have to go to any of these dinners if we don't want to. But I mean, the main reason why all of us are going on this trip is to be able to hang out. So most of us do want to go to it because we want to like hang out with people. But like Unearthly had a dinner, and at the dinner they had their new collection. So if you wanted to take a picture of the new collection, if you wanted to swatch the new collection, you could. If you didn't want to, you didn't have to. You don't have to post about that. That's optional, but you still can go to the dinner. There's no strings attached. Or you can stay home if you want to. Cleona had a workshop with nail polishes. We got to take some nail polishes home that we made ourselves. You don't have to attend if you don't want to. If you want to go sightseeing instead, that's perfectly allowed. You're allowed to do that. I definitely feel like I need a little powder. I think it looks really pretty though. I don't know if I use too much. I feel like I'm a little new to this and I feel like I might have used too much. I did use Salt New York back in the day and I didn't love it then, but I know some changes have happened to it. And I didn't use the, I only used the blush, the bronzer and the highlighter back then. And I have a different makeup technique back then. I think I really enjoyed heavy eye makeup and heavy face makeup, and nowadays I don't enjoy heavy face makeup, so I actually think that Salt New York might be a really good fit for me now. And the owner Kiki, super sweet. Again, I don't have to use any of this. I don't have to do anything. I can give it all away. I could leave it in New Orleans if I wanted to, but I think it's fun to try new brands. I think it's fun to try out things, and since there are no strings attached, and since I can tell you I didn't like any of this, if I don't like any of this, I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. But yeah, a brand can choose to come in and sponsor a part of it, but they don't get to decide who goes, what people post, or who attends. That's all optional, because at the end of the day, this is a trip for us, not a trip for the brands. And nobody gets paid to go. Like, we are paying to go. I think for me, I spent about $200 on flight tickets to get there. I did buy some outfits to wear during there. I probably spent maybe $150 on like outfits to wear. And then of course I paid for a couple of Ubers when we were there. Those are also not included, like transportation within the space. I did pay for a couple of Uber rides as well. Sometimes we split, sometimes we don't. I mean, some people go on these trips and they only have it as a hobby. They're not like making money with YouTube. We're a very diverse group when it comes to like how many subscribers we have. So if we go on something like this, I don't mind paying for Ubers and stuff like that, because it's like, for me, I can take that as a business expense. But if you're only doing this, no, I didn't powder on the side because I want to use some bronzer as well. But if you're only using this on the side, if you're already paying for flight tickets, you might not like have a lot of money to pay for Ubers, or like sometimes we'll like eat lunch and then of course we're paying for that ourselves. This is the bronzer. I'm only going to be using it where I haven't already powdered. So over here, I used to love like really pigmented bronzer, but I feel like I am changed my mind about that a lot. And speaking of having to pay for your own way, I did see a couple of people asking, and I'm not going to point out any names or anything like that because that can be awkward, but why didn't this person attend, or why didn't that person attend? Why didn't they invite this person? And I will say, from my knowledge, there are people who get invited to this and they declined. Maybe they can't afford it. Maybe it's not the right time of the year for them to go. Maybe they don't actually like being in crowds with a lot of people, and they think going on a big group trip with a bunch of people to New Orleans to hang out sounds like an absolute nightmare. There are so many reasons why some people weren't able to attend. Maybe YouTube is their side hustle or something they do on the side, and they weren't able to take some time off from work. There are so many reasons that I have heard of, because of course, like, Samantha is a friend, not that she has mentioned anyone's name, we don't gossip like that, but sometimes we do talk about like stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And even though I don't personally know, oh, this person declined of that, I know that there's like X person declined because they couldn't do that and they invited someone else and like stuff like that. So there are many reasons why someone is invited and then doesn't go. And maybe they don't want to explain to their audience, oh, I was invited but I declined. Maybe they don't want to have that discussion at all. So I will say, when it comes to like creators that weren't there, if they are in the same, like, I would say, size as the people that were there, I would say there is a big chance that they might have been included or they were invited, but they actually declined. And again, no shade to anyone. Not everybody wants to hang out in big groups. It's easy to be like a little overwhelmed. Someone also asks, like, I am a small creator, can I come? This is not like, Samantha and Simber is not sitting there being like, oh, who do we want to invite? No, they're trying really, really hard to get new people in, diverse people, get everybody a chance to attend. And you can like put in your interest over at Creator and Friends. If you go to their Instagram, again, I will leave that down below. I'm gonna use the blush. You can leave your interest and you might get invited to a trip, or you might get invited to one of the events. We had a Christmas event in Vegas this Christmas season in December, and there were like 50 people that went there. And of course, for this trip, there were 40, and the first trip, I think we were like 20 or something. Sometimes they're able to invite more people, sometimes they're not able to invite as many people. But overall, I think that like they're open for any kind of suggestions. It's just that they don't know, and we, even in this group, we don't know every single creator on the platform. Like, someone asked me, did I meet anyone there that I didn't know of? Yes, this time I actually met several people that I didn't know of from before, and it was so interesting to like hang out and meet people that have a totally different style when it comes to makeup and how they post than me. Some really like aesthetic Instagram accounts that I've now found. Super fun to meet people like that. I thought that was really fun to really meet some like new people. And I don't say this to be shady, like, oh, everybody knows who I am. Everybody does not know who I am. But it was also really interesting to introduce myself to someone, because that didn't happen at the Christmas party, and it didn't happen at the first event, where people had never watched my content. They're like, oh, what do you do? Are you an Instagrammer or a YouTuber? I love that, because that means that you're actually able to get outside of your bubble and meet some new people. And I met some really, really amazing people on this trip. And I just, oh my gosh, I had a blast. I mean, I think everybody like gets that, but I thrive in big groups. I am a very social person. I love that. It's not for everyone, but after the trip, I'm definitely the person that's like, I need a couple of days to just be by myself at home. But like when I'm in the moment, I am thriving. I am living for it. I love stuff like that. But of course, again, not everyone is like that. And I 1,000,000% respect that, because I understand. Like it was a little cackly at times. A lot of people, and it was just a lot of things going on, but I love it. I think it's so much fun. And I know they are going to Palm Springs this fall time. And I did mention this. They did invite me, but I had to decline. So I am giving my spot to someone else. And I hope that person has an amazing time, because I am going to Australia with my husband. He has a conference. I think he has a conference in... This might be incorrect. So if I say something different in the future, it's because I'm a little bit unsure. I think he has a conference in Melbourne. I'm just going to use a little bit of Spritzeruski. Yes, he has a conference in Melbourne. I'm pretty sure of that. Oh, there is a dot. And I'm going, and then we are thinking about doing a little road trip. Of course, we can't see the whole of Australia because that's a big one. Oh my God, did I think my brow pencil has fallen out. But I used this yesterday. Are you kidding me? Hello, where are you? I will say this concealer does crease a little bit on me. I might have taken too much. You know, remember I said that? I'm like, oh, I think I used too much. But that's good to know. This is one of those a little bit more emollient concealers that does crease if you have a lot of fine lines. I did find an ABH blonde definer, like that brow definer, and I forgot how good these are. And this blonde color is so good. So yay to me for using that. I'm gonna do a lip liner. This is the lip liner we got in our goodie bag from Unearthly Cosmetics, but I put it in my giveaway that I'm having in the vlog. If you want to see the vlog from this event, by the way, if you're like, what is she talking about? That vlog is already live. I will leave a link to that down below. And in that vlog, make sure to check out the vlog. I'm having a giveaway where I'm giving away a bunch of the stuff that like I have duplicates of. And I'm going to do a big mystery box where I'm putting in a lot of makeup, not only from that one, but also from like other stuff that I have here at home. And I'm putting this, the Cafe lip pencil in because clearly I already own this one and I don't need duplicates. So let me do a lip liner and then we're going to try my first ever product from City Beauty. I've been so excited. I've heard my friend Samantha talk about these so much. I'm finally trying them. Okay, like faded it in a little bit because this is like a gloss, right? This is the plumping lip gloss, but it's supposed to be a non-hurting plumping. It says it was. If this is a plumping lip gloss that hurts, I'm gonna have to call someone. It does. Does it smell minty? I don't know. Am I gonna be hurting? Oh, that's very pigmented. Let me actually use a little less. This is me like, am I hurting? Is it burning? It's a little thicker in formula, but it's not sticky. It's like a thicker, balmy formula. That's actually not bad. That is actually not bad. Let me fetch another question and then we can do... Oh, I'm gonna do eye primer because I want to try the new palette by Sigma that we got. Oh, someone asked me, did we know that Sigma was releasing a palette or was that a surprise? I didn't know until just as it was happening. It might have been like the day before the trip or even the day of the trip where I heard like, oh, Sigma's gonna be announcing their new palette at the dinner. So I did not know at all, and I had no idea about this palette until I actually sat down at dinner and the palette was in front of me. So it's called Cool Neutrals, and I know a lot of people were like, this isn't cool tone. You know what? I kind of agree with you. It's definitely not all cool tones. This is like a mix of cool tones and some neutral tones, and I would say 2 warmer tones here to just make this a more approachable cool tone palette for people like me who have a more golden undertone so that you can mix them out. And that's what Simone, which is the owner and the creator of Sigma, said as well with this palette, that she was trying to do something for people like her who don't love straight up grays but want to dabble into cool tones. So it's like a happy compromise. Maybe they should have named it something else than Cool Neutrals because a lot of people are getting upset that it's not a full cool tone palette. But for me, someone who didn't like the Xenon palette because I thought it was all gray, for me, this is very approachable. So I'm actually going to start with this one, and I think we're going to dabble with the cool tones and that mustard shade and like use that together, and I can show you like how to make it a little bit more, I don't want to say approachable, but for the sake of the argument, approachable if you're like like me and you don't love gray shadows. This one is releasing early May. I think it's like a 2nd or 3rd of May. Ooh, this is so pigmented. So pretty. And you can use my code Angelica and you can get some money off when it is releasing. And I will let you know when it's like releasing. You can see when this comes on my eye, someone who has a little bit more of a golden undertone together. It looks caramel, but it's not yellow on me. It just turns into something that's like just gonna help with the blending and just making it look not all gray on someone with my undertone. So I appreciate the mix. I understand it's not for everyone, but also I hope the people that say like, oh, I just want the gray tones, I hope they understand that like someone like me, this is as cool toned with the neutrals as I want to go. Because with like those gray tone palettes, I'm so happy they exist for you. But for me, this is way more up my alley. And I'm so happy that we have now come to a place in the beauty community or in the makeup industry community where we can see a little bit of everything. And not everything is cookie cutter and not every type of like brand is releasing the exact same color story. I think that brands are copying each other less when it comes to color stories with eyeshadows. And now it's more into like releasing the exact same blush and highlighter and foundation, like those kind of formulas. I feel like it's way more samey there right now than it is with eyeshadow palettes, because there was a time when like you couldn't find anything else but orangey warm neutrals, and then there was a time where you couldn't find anything but the cool neutrals. And now I feel like we're in a place where there could be a warm neutrals palette, a neutral neutrals, and all of a sudden there's a blue palette and a rainbow. Like you never know what you're gonna get. And I kind of appreciate that. Ooh, I need to change my battery. And let me fetch a question. I'm just talking about nonsense. I'm just holding my phone up. I'm gonna do a little, I don't wanna say rapid fire, but I'm gonna dig into Condor, which is like a cool tone brown. But this is so funny. This is from Heather Austin, which was my roomie, my bestie. She was with me, and it says, wait, who got paid? I want some. We're just like, nobody got paid. And then she also said, I heard there was a Coke Zero thief. Will you seek the maximum punishment? So there was some free drinks in the fridge, because I think they got a sponsor that just sponsored some free drinks, which we're super grateful. But Heather bought some Coke Zeros for herself and put in the fridge, and somebody drank her Coke Zeros. And we were just laughing about this the whole trip. We were like, who smells like Coke Zero? Does anybody have a Coke Zero jar in their room? I mean, it's inevitable when it's this many people on a trip for something like that to happen. And it's like, it's all lighthearted. It's all fun. I think people were asking, like this one, were there cliques within the group or did you all commingle? I feel like one of the good things about a trip like this is because we are all adults and like a good group of people, anyone can talk to anyone. Like I could sit down anywhere and have a good conversation with anyone at any point. I never felt like someone was not interested in talking with me, interested in hearing my opinion. If you sat down in a group, they were always excited to have you. So of course there's going to be like, I'd say click with the quotes, because of course there are going to be some people that know each other more than other people, like me, Heather, and Karen, for example, that talk every day. Like me and Ali or Betty Jean, for example, like we talk every day. Or some people that I have met before, like me and Samantha, we've gone on so many trips before. Of course there's always going to be people that know each other better than other, but there's no exclusion happening on these trips. We're all so excited to meet new people and to hang out with like just everyone. Someone is asking, I think I speak for all of our Aussie subscribers when I say want to know more about your Australia trip. I will talk more about that once I know more, once we have like booked more and stuff like that. How did you find Creator and Friends? One of my best friends, Samantha March, was the co-creator, and that's why she asked me, she's like, would you like to be part of this? And of course, like my bestie inviting me to a trip. Girls trip? Definitely. Oh, someone did ask, I think it's here somewhere, how come there are no males on this trip? And I did actually talk to Samantha about that, and I'm not gonna misquote her, and I think you should ask them about this, but I know there were some like, oh, what is the good word in English? Logistic? Is that the one? Because like in this trip, for example, 4 of us were sharing a bathroom, and sometimes you have to like pee together, or like they were doing their makeup and I was in the shower because there was just no time. And I think some of the logistic problems has just made it a little bit hard for them to do that. But I know when I talk to her that she's like trying to figure out a way where this would be great for everyone. And of course, because it started out as a girls trip, but that doesn't mean that that's how things have to stay. And when they did the holiday party in Vegas, where everybody fixed like their own like living situation, I know that there was a bunch of guys and a bunch of non-binary attendees, and it was so fun to meet them as well. That looks delish. I think I'm gonna do like the silver on the eye. Wouldn't that be so cute? Someone is asking, are there any creators not allowed to join in? Initially, I would say anyone can leave their interest, but I also will say if there's a creator that's known for being maybe rude or being a drama queen or causing trouble within the community, or if there's some like open fights between people, I'm guessing they would try to avoid to put people like that together with others on a trip, just because this is meant to be a friends trip and not a brand trip. So I would say initially no, but I'm sure there are exceptions depending on like the whole thing. But like I said, anyone can like throw their name in the hat and just see what happens. I think that this one might actually be a little bit of tea, because I was sitting next to two creators of color when we had the Surat brunch, and someone was asking, did Helene really try to pass Surat off as inclusive, and how did everyone feel about that? I have never tried Surat. This is my first time trying the brand, but I will say there were some people of color that did react to the fact that everybody got a blush that only worked on light skin tones in their goodie bag, and Surat said, oh, this is our best-selling shade. And I do think that they could have maybe made an effort to say like, oh, if this blush color does not work for you, we have other blush colors with us and you can just exchange it or let us know and we will send that out separate as PR. But I don't know what happened behind the scenes, or if some of these creators did go up to Helene and be like, hey, this blush color that was in my goodie bag, actually, because they swatched it on their hands and it did not show up on them at all. And I don't know if they went up and talked to the brand. Usually brands are very perceptive of things like that, but I do think the brand could maybe have made a bigger effort to like say that in their presentation and be like, yes, we did put this light pink in your goodie bag, but just know that if you need to switch it out, that is definitely possible. And again, that discussion could have happened behind the scenes, but there were some giggles when the girls with a little bit melanin tried to swatch it on their hands, and it literally looked like nothing. Oh my God, Ali Dawson. Who do you miss the most? And if you don't say Ali Dawson, I'm unsubscribing. Ali, I love you so much. Ali is such a good friend. She is so sweet, so wonderful, and so genuine. I talk to her every day. I talked to her this morning before she went to work. And we are actually, because we were saying after this trip, we're like, oh my God, it was so amazing to meet you again, hang out again, but we already miss each other. And we actually said that her and I are planning to do a little girls weekend just by ourselves. Maybe we'll invite someone else, or maybe we'll just do it by ourselves, just to like hang out even more. Because again, like we are genuinely friends, and we were like, this was not enough. We need more. So we're thinking about doing something together, and I really hope that we're able to make that happen, because I adore Ali. She's so sweet. She's so funny. And I think Ali said something in her video that really hit home with me, that she was like, I've never been to summer camp, but this trip felt like summer camp. Just like going somewhere and just having fun for an extended period of time. And I cannot agree more. Like, I want to use Thunder, and I also want to use this one that's called Iris. This is an interesting question because it says, do you like that it's so brand focused? It feels like it's creators and friends and brands. And I think that from an outsider perspective, because we are so used to seeing what brand trips are, like, you know, tripping with Tarte and like all of those trips, we're so used to what those are. We immediately think that that's how this is as well, because we're seeing a group of friends go somewhere and there are some like goodie bags involved, and we're like, oh, it's like a brand trip. But for us attending, it is not brand focused at all. Like, nobody is like thinking about that when we're there. Nobody is planning their content around what brands are there. Nobody's planning their packing around what brands are there. We don't really care about that. Like, Sigma was the main sponsor of the trip, and I was so grateful and excited to see people use my brushes. I mean, okay, this is the biggest attest to how this is just a fun trip and not a business trip. In her speech, where the owner of Sigma was talking about Sigma and like the brand and everything, she mentioned my brand. That we also do good brushes. Why would you do that if it's a brand trip? Why would you do that if it's only a business thing? Why would you call out your competitor? And I love Sigma brushes. I had Sigma brushes and I didn't use them. They released a new brush set. It's so gorgeous. And for us, it's not brand focused at all. And again, I'm sure there are people that go on this trip and they're like, oh, I've never heard about this brand. I'm genuinely not interested. I'm just not going to mention them in my stories. I don't think it fits my audience. And it's perfectly within their right. It's perfectly within their right to do that. But of course, for brands, I don't blame them. This is an opportunity. And I know especially for indie brands, and I can say that if you are an indie brand owner looking at this, this is a perfect opportunity to get your product in front of some people that never review indie products, that never look at indie brands, that never discover them. Like, I had friends the last trip that now swatched Unearthly, and they're like, I had no idea. I had no idea this is what they were. I had friends this trip that finally got to own some Cleonad stained glass, and they're like, I had no idea. I had some people that unwrapped their Fancy Cosmetica palette and they're like, wow, this actually looks incredible. These people would have never tried these brands if they didn't go to this trip. So it's also a way for you as like a creator to see brands that you might not have ever tried. Like, I would have never gone out and bought Surat. City Beauty, this lip gloss, there was a slight tingle in the beginning, just like the Makeup by Mario sticks, but it doesn't hurt at all. And look at how smooth and nice. Super balmy. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I would have never tried this if I hadn't gone on the trip. So it is an opportunity for brands to reach out to an audience that you might have they might have not even accepted your PR if you wrote to them. But now they get to see it and they're like, wow, this is actually really pretty. But of course, there are no strings attached. The creators might end up being like, no, this isn't for me at all. But that's the gamble you do. That is the gamble you do. But like on this trip, one of the things that is really nice is that we talk a lot about not only like non-creator stuff, of course, like we talk about everything. Oh my God, we talk about everything. We were late night squad sitting up until 3 a.m. talking about life, talking about relationships, talking about everything. So much fun. But we also talk about creator things. And this is a space where we're actually with coworkers and we can talk about the algorithm, the statistics, PR and sponsorships and unhinged brand owners, and just share our experiences and share our tips. And people actually understand you because they are in the same business as you. And that part is, it's priceless. It's priceless. As a creator, it's really hard to get that. And especially in this community that they have fostered, where there are just really nice people. Because I have gone to creator events where people, like, you've gone up to talk to them and they literally ask you for Instagram to check your how many followers you have in front of you to see if you're even worthy talking to. And that's not how these trips are. That's not how these trips are. I want to get like an inner corner highlight. I don't know if this, because I don't like, you know me, I don't like a shimmery inner corner highlight. So I think I'm going to go fetch something matte. I also do have these new shadows from Cleonad, but I think I'm going to save these for a future. Maybe I'll do a reel or something. They're so, you know, I love Cleonad. Some of my like the best multi-chrome formula. I love them. But let me go see if I can get like a matte inner corner highlight, because I also want to talk about some of my upcoming trips that you actually can be a part of. Okay, speaking of Fantasy Cosmetica, I actually had the Wizard palette out, so I thought we'd use Curiosity, and we'll do that in the inner corner. Oh, I love stuff like this. Because then you can have the white with the mustard going into the gray. I just feel like this is such an interesting color story. See, isn't that perfect? I'm gonna do white in my waterline too. Okay, so me and my best friend Samantha March, we're actually holding a little group retreat, just a little group trip here in Austin in June. We will let you know more about this. I always said that I was like afraid to do stuff like this, and this is just gonna be a fun little weekend. You know, Samantha had a weekend in Vegas. This is gonna be something similar. Maybe if you're living close by, this is the perfect time. So we're gonna do group dinners. We're gonna try and do a couple of activities, and it's just gonna be very similar to what Samantha had in Vegas, but we're gonna do it together, and we're gonna do it here in Austin, beginning of June. I will put some info about that down below. If you are interested in that, let me know your Instagram handle and I will add you to the Instagram group where we talk about this retreat. So please let me know about that. I call it retreat, but it's more like a friends weekend. We're just gonna be hanging out and having a bunch of fun. I feel more confident doing it together with Samantha because she has so much experience now doing stuff like this, and also we're in Austin, so like I have my husband nearby, and like it just feels a little bit more, and it's only a weekend. But we have so many fun things planned. I cannot wait to share everything with you. We are gonna be releasing tickets for this real soon, and like I said, it's gonna be like dinner and drinks and gratuity and at least one activity included in this, and it's gonna be in the beginning of June. I will put the exact dates down below, so save the date in case you're interested in that. If you're like living nearby and you feel that that could be fun. Oh, I got some fallout. Why? And I know those things aren't for everyone, and it's not meant to be for everyone either. It is just an added thing, something fun I like to do, because I started YouTube to get a community. I started YouTube to make more friends, and I love that I'm now at a place where I can do creator and friends. I can do this like Austin weekend where we can hang out and just meet, because I'm a very social person and I love doing stuff like that. And also, we're getting closer to the trip that we are taking together in Italy. I'm so excited. Our Italy group is popping off. Like, we are having so much fun. I need to set up another chat now that I am like back from New Orleans. We can chat a little bit. I've been thinking about outfits. So we are going I think it's the 6th of August. We're going to Rome. We're going to Florence together. There is one spot still available to this trip if you are interested in going. And also if you want to meet the group, if you want to talk with them a bit, we do have a group for this as well. If you're interested, you're not committing to anything, just being in the group. It's gonna be so fun. Italian food, gelato, hanging out, seeing the sights, walking around. I cannot wait to see all of this with you. There are some things that I've already seen that I'm gonna be able to see again, and then there are some things that I have not seen that I am so excited that we're gonna be able to experience together. And again, I know it's not for everyone, but for me, this feels amazing, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this with a company. We're gonna have a tour guide with us at all times, because this is like the first year that I'm doing something like this, and I just wanna, what do you say in the US? You say dot all the I's and cross all the T's? I don't think that's, I'm close, right? I'm close, just to make sure that everybody's having a good time, that everybody is getting what they want, including me, because I want to have fun. I want to have fun too, and I want to talk with you. I want to hang out. I want to see the sights. I want to have the gelato. I don't want to be like trying to talk to a bus driver or anything like that. That's not what I want to do. So I'm so excited that we're having this opportunity, because I always wanted to do friends trips. I looked at some of those people that had a lot of friends when they were in the 20s, which was not me, and all the fun things they were able to do together. And I feel like I am reclaiming that lost time now in my 40s. It is happening. I am gonna meet new people. I'm gonna see the world. I'm gonna have fun. And I'm finally gonna be able to have those experiences with friends and with groups that I always wished for, but never could have. And I am so grateful. And I will leave info about all of that down below in the description box in case that's something for you. And if it's not, that's perfectly fine. I'm still gonna continue to do my videos. I'm still gonna be here on YouTube doing stuff. I'm still gonna be on Instagram posting pictures. Nothing's really changing. I'm just finding new fun things to add that fits me and what I like to do. Can I say, this looks pretty bomb. That look, I feel very fierce. Okay, let me put on half lash. Let me brush my hair, maybe a low dry shampoo. Oh, I can try out that new one. The Sephora sale. Let's do that together actually at the end. One of the brands that were in the goodie box was Bright Lashes, which is the lash brand by Angela Bright, who was on the trip as well. And you know that I've met Angela before and I've tried Bright Lashes before, and they are beautiful. So those are the half lashes that I put on now, and I'm so excited for more people to discover how great half lashes are. These are in Flutter. I will leave everything down below. Love these lashes and I love this look. I think I look great. So let's do the Spritzerooski. Oh my god. Ooh, I forgot this is wet. They say like it's gonna go on wet, but then, yeah, I have some extensions in. It's gonna like, when it dries down, it's gonna like remove the... We'll see. We'll see. I'll leave this to dry out a little bit and I'll brush it. Let's remove some hair and I'll be back. You know what? I think this worked. I'm as shocked as you are, okay? I think it worked. Oh, you can see here. I wonder what the active ingredient is in this thing, because it's clearly something that like dries down white. That's what he said. Okay, I think the hair is done. It's looking really nice, and it did remove the little oiliness that I had. So actually, so far so good. We'll see how I feel about this hair now in upcoming like a couple of days. Clearly, like when I buy new stuff, I'll update you like eventually when I've been able to try it out. But first impression, it dried down very quickly. It actually did do something. It doesn't feel crunchy or anything. It just actually feels clean. That's very impressive. And I liked all the things that I tried today. I will say the only thing that's like, I need to try it again to like, of course, all of the things, but like I really need to pay attention when I try it again, is the concealer, because I think it's a little bit too creamy for me, and I do have a little bit of creasing going on. But other than that, I think that everything looks really beautiful. Please let me know your thoughts down below, and also let me know if there's any questions that you wanted to ask and you missed this prompt on Instagram. We can always talk in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. And like I said, if you are interested in Creator and Friends, if you are a creator, even if you're a small creator, if you look at the attendee list for this trip, not everyone would say like a huge influencer. I will say very few people were like bigger influencers. Definitely let them know through Instagram that you are interested. I will leave that down below. Overall, just check the description box for more info. I hope you're having an amazing day. My makeup is looking really good. This foundation is really gorgeous. Like, look at my cheeks. Look at how flawless everything is. Okay, letting that go. I'll see you in my next video, which is gonna be tomorrow. New makeup releases. Bye!